What is up? What is going on? And how are you doing? New York City is the gift that keeps on giving. If what they're giving you is bad news and horrific tales. So let's talk about it. Fritz Marcelle, or Marcel. I'm not good at names, so just roll with me on it. But he's in East Village, terrorizing women from 3rd Street to 5th Street along 2nd Avenue. Now, a lady told the New York Post, her name's Kristen Booth, that Marcelle had told her he was going to effing grape her. Now, she would go on in the article to state that she has filed multiple police reports and she is reaching out to the New York Post because the 9th District isn't seeming to do anything about it and doesn't seem to care. Her friend, Kristen Rucci, said that Fritz's acts include drug dealing, public urination, public defecation, and public self-pleasure. Multiple women, according to a worker at Cooper's Craft and Kitchen, have said women go in there all the time just to dodge this guy. Now, it is worth noting, according to the State Office of Court Administration, Marcelle has 7 sealed cases, to include arrested twice for unsolicited groping on 2 different women. He was required to complete counseling at Queens Counseling for Change, an organization which is set up to handle people with mental illness. Kristen Rucci told the Post it's only a matter of time before it gets beyond harassment and groping and escalates to grape. His actions are becoming more and more aggressive. Now, New York is known to have some problems. But what is happening right here in this particular situation is eerily similar to the story I did about Kamal Rideout, the alleged New York subway slasher who has a 15-year rap sheet that includes all sorts of heinous and aggressive acts towards women. The city has filed multiple complaints to officials about their Clean Slate Act, which seems to be a continuing problem and causing a revolving door among criminals with mental illness and allowing them to get back on the streets. As I did state in that video I did several weeks ago about Kamal Rideout, the mayor is pushing to have easier access for family members to commit individuals without their consent. Now, the police department, we all know police departments are understaffed, underfunded, but when it comes to things like this, that's really not much of an excuse. You're still paid to do a job, and you should still do that job to the best of your ability. And if an individual is consistently targeting women at a very specific location, accused of dealing drugs, it seems to me it would be a whole lot easier to address this issue before it comes something more serious. Now, I don't know how many of y'all actually live in New York and deal with something like this, but I'm curious if problems like this are just a New York Post exaggeration to draw views to their website, or is stuff like this really going on that often? It seems every time I get on here and start flipping through New York Post articles, there is some individual with a documented history of mental illness roaming around the streets, causing problems and harassing people. And like I said, this is not the first big story, in my opinion, that involves an individual harassing women. I'm curious about your thoughts with this. It's sad that at least 5 complaints have been filed with NYPD and nothing seems to happen. You know, Miss Booth is now walking around with pepper spray. And according to the Post, when he did make that statement to her, she screamed "rapist" to attract attention and deter this from getting worse. But it is clearly a problem. And it clearly deserves attention. And if you think this deserves attention, I would ask that you share this video, like it, post a comment so it gets the views it's required. And I hope that New York addresses this issue so its citizens can feel safe. Other than that, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. Y'all have a good one.